What's going on, guys? Zuko back. Another Shadowlands video. How's everybody doing? Hope you're having a great day. Grab your coffees, kick back, let's relax. I'm going to talk today about Paladin. We're going to do all the Paladin stuff in one video. Mostly because I don't think that there's a lot of different directions that Paladin's going to be going. So I think primarily Paladin's going to be moving potentially towards the Venthyr. Like, there's been lots of Venthyr paladins already, especially holy paladins taking Ashen Hallow into raid, the raid environment. In the Mythic Plus environment, has been dominated by Kyrian because Divine Toll is a 1 minute cooldown, like a 40-second cooldown, right? It's just really strong. So, and then the only other crazy, like not crazy, the only other really good option, in my opinion, is Necrolord for Holy Paladin. Necrolord for Ret Paladin is actually okay. It's one of my favorite ways to play Ret Paladin. Maybe not as good as the Kyrian one, but I think it's actually okay. And then there's Night Fae, which is sort of there's been some I've seen some Night Fae Holy Paladins putting Blessing of Summer on to DPS targets with the Equinox Seasons of Plenty, which gives you the Equinox buff. It makes Blessing of Summer do double the damage for 10 seconds. So you put this on like a rogue or on somebody who like hits very, very quickly. Actually, it doesn't have to be anybody who hits quickly. It can just be somebody who hits very hard. And it essentially just doubles the damage. I've seen Blessing of Summer damages that are like off the charts. They're doing like 80 or 100k damage on like a boss fight or something, which is a lot. So I just want to talk primarily, I think, about Venthyr for most of the Paladin builds. I'm going to talk about Necrolord a little bit too. And Kyrian, I'm not going to touch as much because I think we all understand how Kyrian works for all the Paladin builds and how strong it is. I have a bunch of legendaries that I want to sort of go over here. And what are we looking at primarily for Paladin moving into 9.2? Why would we move in towards Venthyr at all? Well, it's basically because the Venthyr legendary for Ashen Hallow is pretty insane. So it makes Ashen Hallow go 50% longer, which means the damage of it is going to go up, the healing of it is going to go up, and obviously the duration now goes up. And it lasts for 45 seconds now instead of 30 seconds, which is insane. Ashen Hallow was already a crazy good cooldown. In a raid, it's like one of the best cooldowns you can bring to a raid, period. In Mythic Plus, it's not quite as good because a 4 minute cooldown in Mythic Plus is kind of strange. It doesn't line up with like anything else. So, but if you're talking specifically about a raid, this is very, very good. And we have access to this plus other legendaries now, in particular, the Hammer of Wrath legendaries. So there's this one here. Vanguard's Momentum gives Hammer of Wrath an additional charge and increases all your holy damage by up to 12%. And that's all you do as a prop paladin. You just do holy damage. As a ret paladin, that's all you do as well. Basically, holy damage is a little bit of like Wake of Ashes does radiant damage, I think. So I'm not sure what that counts as. But primarily, this is just going to be giving you 12% more damage all the time. And the actual button itself, Hammer of Wrath, also does holy damage. So, of course, that's going to be 12% stronger. You get 2 charges of it. It generates holy power. When you're standing in your Ashen Hallow, Hammer of Wrath also does double damage. So right now the tooltip reads, 3,000 holy damage. That's going to do 6,000 holy damage. And you're going to have 12% more damage, so it'll do even more than that. Do you see what I'm saying? If you have the Ashen Hallow down on the floor, you're going to get to cast Hammer of Wrath so many times, and it's going to be a crazy amount of damage. This is my single target damage as a Prot Paladin. I was just doing single target testing on this guy over here, this big dummy, the Raiders dummy. Hammer of Wrath almost did 100k. Ashen Hallow itself, with the conduit, Hallowed Discernment, did 25% of my damage. So Hammer of Wrath and Ashen Hallow together did 50% of my damage. So, excuse me. It's just really, really good. Like if you can run this. I think that this legendary, the Hammer of Wrath getting an extra charge and giving you 12% more damage, is better than this legendary, which is the Hammer of Wrath extends your wings and it does 30% more damage on its own. I think getting 12% more damage to everything, which includes like Judgment, Avenger's Shield, Consecration, Hammer of the Righteous does physical damage, But then if the AoE wave of light that you get from Hammer of the Righteous does holy damage. So anyway, the 12% boost that you're getting, if you take Blessed Hammer does holy damage. So there you go. The damage that you're getting, I think this is better. Vanguard's I think is better than Mad Paragon. The point I'm trying to make here is that if you're going to go Venthyr in 9.2 because the benefits of getting this extra legendary effect from Ashen Hallow is so enormous, if you're going to go Venthyr, you could pick either of these legendaries, Mad Paragon or Vanguard's Momentum, and they're both great, and you're going to do a lot of extra damage. As a Prot Paladin, as a Holy Paladin, or as a Ret Paladin, it's just insane damage across the board. And then the extra benefit from this is that Ashen Hallow is going to heal everybody again for an additional 15 seconds. It does 30,000 healing. It gets reduced a little bit in a raid, but everybody understands if you've seen this in a raid, it's just absolutely crazy how much healing it does. So I think Venthyr is going to be in a really strong place. It doesn't really interact with the tier set bonus. Let's talk about the tier set bonus for a second. So casting Shield of the Righteous increases your block chance by 4%. And so you get essentially get 12% more block, and then blocking sends out a judgment. So um, in a dungeon environment, this is very good. I think in a raid environment, it's okay, but in a dungeon environment, it's particularly good because you can take Holy Shield in a dungeon, get 15% more block, then you get 12% more block from this. So that's 29% more block. I already have 43% here. So add 12 to that, I'm at 55%, right? So 55% block is insane. Your Holy Shield does damage every time you block. With the tier set bonus, you have a chance to cast a judgment every time this blocks. I mean, this tier set bonus is made for Mythic Plus. And if you go Venthyr, then you can get some Mad Paragon damage. I think Venthyr is probably good for raiding if you're playing Prot Paladin. In Mythic Plus, I don't think it's quite as good. But imagine, let's say, if you went for Kyrian or something in Mythic Plus. The tier set bonus gives you this chance to block. You're sending out judgments, and then you take the Bulwark of Righteous Fury. Avenger's Shield increases the damage of your next Shield of the Righteous by 30%. This is the one that most people run in Mythic Plus on Prot Paladin to do more damage. But imagine if you're blocking and you're just launching judgments out at everybody, right? And they're all then you consume those judgments with a juiced up Shield of the Righteous. I mean, the damage is just going to be really crazy. It's basically impossible to test here because I don't have a bunch of dummies that can hit me. If there was like a testing dummy where 4 or 5 dummies would hit you at the same time, then you could see all the judgments flying out. Unfortunately, you can't really see that. If we hit this guy here, I'm going to taunt him. Let's just see if a judgment flies out. Just look on his portrait here. You can see I'm not going to cast judgment. I can't tell if he's even hitting me. Is he hitting me? Let's go over here. Let's try this guy. There's my judgment. I'm going to consume it. Let's see if he gets a judgment thrown at him. Oh, I just threw a judgment. I'm an idiot. I'm going to stop throwing a judgment. Look at there. There's a judgment for free right there. So that was a block. I just blocked him. You can see that. And let's see if we get another judgment. There's another judgment right there. I consume it with Shield of the Righteous. Imagine if I had this legendary on, right? You'd be getting more damage every time you get to. So you're getting free judgments like all the time, which is really cool. Here's what else is kind of cool about it. This tier set says, oh, sorry, blocking an attack has a chance to cast a judgment at your target. Okay. So if we look at the legendaries now, the other legendaries that you could run, again, we're thinking primarily about Mythic Plus. I'd say Venthyr is good for raid. It's fine for Mythic Plus, but let's move forward. If you take the Magistrate's Judgment, Judgment has a 45% chance to reduce the cost of your next Holy Power spender by 1. Interesting now. We were on a single target back there, one single target, and we proc Judgment like 4 times in like a 30-second window or something. Imagine if you had multiple enemies hitting you. I think there's an internal cooldown on the tier set bonus, but honestly, you're gonna be casting judgments all the time. Casting a judgment gives you 1 holy power. With Magistrate's Judgment, it might reduce the cost of your next spender by 1. So then you only need 2 holy power to cast your Shield of the Righteous, which again is gonna buff your block, right? It's just like there's this cycle that's happening, right? So that's an interesting idea. But of course, you can just take Bulwark, like I was saying, and your Avenger's Shield. You're going to get like, you run into a pack of like 10 mobs. They all start hitting you. You block like 5 or 6 of them. You throw an Avenger's Shield, and then you press Judgment, or you press Shield of the Righteous, and it just does mega damage because they all have Judgment on them. You consume that Judgment with your Shield of the Righteous. It does 25% more damage, plus 30% more damage from the Bulwark. So Bulwark is like the obvious go-to here. And if you run Kyrian, then you get, after you press Divine Toll, there's even more judgments going out. So it's like you could run into a pack, press Divine Toll, press Avenger's Shield, get your juiced up Bulwark, Shield of the Righteous damage. Then you start blocking and you get more judgments flying out, and you cast Shield of the Righteous again for another just big chunk of damage that it's 25% more damage at all times. So like in Mythic Plus, I think with this tier set bonus, you're going to be getting so many blocks, so many judgments flying out, generating so much free holy power that you're spending on Shield of the Righteous, and Shield of the Righteous is just going to do so much damage now with the Bulwark if you run that build. Or you could run Magistrate's Judgment and get a bunch of free, spenders. I think that's perfectly fine as well. That's kind of the two for Prot Paladin that I'm thinking are going to be awesome. If you're in a raid situation, I think Mad Paragon or the Ret Paladin one, the Vanguard's Momentum. This works with Prot Paladin as well as Holy Paladin. Even though it's a Ret legendary, you can still run this. So Vanguards might be okay too for more of a single target approach, right? Let me just show you what that looks like really quick. So if you're running, let's say we're on a raid boss, right? I have my 2 charges of Hammer of Wrath. I'm going to start with actually, let's do it on this guy because he's actually hitting us. Let's do it over here. I'm gonna just make sure this doesn't hit anything else, okay? So we cast it right here, and then we go Wings, Taunt, Hammer. Make sure to throw your Hammer of Wrath. Hammer of Wrath is doing double damage right now. Why is our damage so low? Hold on, I need to cancel this. That wasn't working at all. That was only, I should have been doing like 13 or 14k. I think I've been still in combat from the other. I gotta run away. Sorry, guys. So this is the other cool thing about the legendary. You can cancel Ashen Hallow now. It used to be that you had to walk out of your Ashen Hallow and that would cancel it, but now you can just press your Ashen Hallow button again and it will cancel it early. And now look, it's got 2 minutes left on the cooldown instead of 4. So like, there's something interesting that you can do there. It's very like niche. Like in a raid scenario, if your raid leader really needs you to cancel your Ashen and make it a 2-minute cooldown instead of a 4-minute, then okay, but you're not going to get a lot of value out of it. It's kind of like a non. It doesn't really matter. But yeah. While this is cooling down, let me just talk about the other builds really quick. So we have Mad Paragons or Vanguard's Momentum. Those are the two like legendaries for the Venthyr playstyle. I think it does a ton of extra damage for you as a paladin, as a Prot Paladin in particular, and as a Ret Paladin, it's also going to be really good for single target. Maybe I'll switch over and show that in a minute. If you're going for like Mythic Plus stuff on your Prot Paladin, then you definitely want to look into Bulwark. I would say is number one going to be your best thought here. And then you're probably going to want to go Kyrian. Just think about all the judgments that you're getting, all the judgments that you're throwing out, and you're consuming them with Shield of the Righteous. It does a ton of extra damage, right? So that's kind of what you're looking at for Mythic Plus. You're not really getting any more healing, per se. Like, it's just all of these double legendary combinations for tanks is just giving more damage, which I think is probably good. That's probably fine. It's okay that that's the case. What I'm gonna get into in a minute is the Necrolord stuff, and I'll have to go to back to Oribos to show you that, but I'll do that in a minute. That's the Ret one, which we'll talk about in a second, and then I want to show this Ret one as well with Final Verdict. I think it's actually there's going to be something interesting there, but just for Prot Paladin really quick, I want to show you the Venthyr single target raid boss style. So pretend like this is our big raid boss here. You're going to start obviously with Ashen into Wings, into your double Hammer of Wrath. And if you're on a raid boss, you're going to probably have to use Ardent Defender or Guardian of Ancient Kings right off the bat to make sure that you don't die, but this is the way it would go. Boom, boom. We're going to taunt. I use my Ardent Defender there, get my Judgment out. Second Hammer of Wrath. You can see the Hammer of Wrath just keeps coming off cooldown, and we're doing quite a bit of single target damage here. Hammer of Wrath's doing double damage, and I have 2 charges of it, and it's increasing all my damage by 12%. There's the buff right up there. Vanguard's holy damage increased by 12%. So that's my consecration, that's my judgment, that's my shield of the righteous damage is also holy. The only thing that isn't is the upfront hit of hammer of the righteous. Everything else is holy damage. So you're just getting a 12% damage boost on everything, which I think it's better than Mad Paragon in my opinion. Reducing the or extending wings is okay. Getting a wing extension is fine, but it's just not. I don't know. To me, it's not as crazy. So there you go. That was about 7k sustained DPS right there. You can see once again, Hammer of Wrath is almost doing 80k. Ashen Hallow is doing over 100k. That's what you're going to get on a single target with as a tank. So on top of that, you're obviously going to be healing all your allies. I mean, it's just really, really good. And Hammer of Wrath generates holy power, which means you can dump that into Word of Glories or Shield of the Righteous like I was doing there. And like you saw, not only we were sending out additional judgments as well. Hopefully you saw that. The tier set bonus was kicking in. All the blocks that we were getting were increasing our block chance and sending out more judgments for us to consume. I think that Holy Shield is going to be awesome. Blessed Hammer is still very, very good in a raid because like you just need. There's so many mechanics in raid that prevent you from standing in front of your opponent and blocking them. You just might have to switch over to this because it gives you free holy power generation when you're not on top of the boss. So obviously that's something I'm going to do. But the combination of Holy Shield, the 15% block plus the other 12% block from this, from the tier set, is very, very good. So let's move forward to. Oh, where am I going? Whew, somebody help me. Over here. Here we go. Let's move forward to the Ret Paladin stuff really quick. I just want to show some of the damage that you can get from Ret Paladin. The single target damage, I'm not sure if I'm going to show it on Venthyr because I don't think it matters. I think you guys all understand the damage that's popping up there. Obviously, in Mythic Plus Kier Paladin, it's of course the Art of War to reset the cooldown of Wake of Ashes instead of Blade of Justice. So some of you guys were talking in the comments about not taking necessarily Blade of Wrath because it might have a chance to reset the cooldown of Blade of Justice bonuses, which is Wake of Ashes. But I think that anytime you have a better chance to reset the cooldown of Blade of Justice, you have a higher chance to proc your tier set. So I think that that's going to be good. Wake of Ashes, so I think it's good. But let me know what you guys think about that. I'm gonna put my two-handed weapon on here. Here we go. So what are we looking at for Ret Paladin? Again, if you're going in a raid scenario in particular, you're going to take Ashen Hallow and using like I love that this is what we get. Venthyr stuff doesn't really interact with your tier set bonus. It just gives you Hammer of Wrath damage and it's going to give you Ashen Hallow. I think extending wings, the Mad Paragon buff for Ret Paladin is great. Nothing wrong with that at all. And you want to be pressing Hammer of Wrath anyway because it does the most damage. So this is perfectly fine to take this. Plus the Ashen Hallow damage, your single target is going to be pretty ridiculous. Let me switch this out really quick. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, I'll just show you really quick. So again, you would start with this. Yeah, it's going to attack us, so we need to go this way. Okay. So we're going to go Hallow here. It's really hard to get this. Whatever. We're going to go Hallow here. Into wings. This. Make sure you get Wake of Ashes out because you're going to be resetting it. Wake of Ashes reset right there. We got it. Oh, we got it again. Yep, that's pretty insane. I also think you should take Zeal. I think Zeal's pretty good because it gives you... okay, we got a Blade of Justice reset, but that's okay. I think Zeal's really good because you're getting your auto attacks 30% faster, right? So that gives you a higher chance to trigger the tier set bonus, which is happening a whole bunch here. Obviously, we just got Blade of Justice there again. Of course, the only problem with this is that if you get a reset on... There, we got a reset right there. Actually, that's exactly my point. If you get a reset on Wake of Ashes right before it's about to finish its own cooldown, then you're kind of sad. But um, you can see that this is kind of what you would expect. Now Ashen Hallow's gone, obviously. There's another Wake. So that's pretty cool. I mean, we got Wake of Ashes 5 times there, which is nuts. Templar's Verdict, of course, doing top damage there, and then Hammer of Wrath in the Ashen Hallow window almost did 100k once again. So it's just reliable, dependable damage. It's what you're looking for on the Ret Paladin. I think that the tier set bonus helps to kind of smooth out our rotations a bit because it gives you 3 holy power on Wake of Ashes instead of 2. Of course, when you benefit from Art of War, you're also getting Seraphim, which is a talent that I haven't taken in a long time, but it just gives you more stats. Only for 2 seconds, but that's fine. It's a good little bonus. You're getting nice little stats for 2 seconds, and you saw all the different resets that we were getting, I think, because we have Blade of Wrath. So I think Blade of Wrath plus Zeal is a great combo because you're getting, excuse me, faster attack speed and which is helping to trigger your tier set bonus more. I know lots of people run Executioner Sentence, and I'm sure you can still run Execution Sentence. It'll be fine. You can try and fit all these things, especially if you're getting the Ashen Hallow plus Hammer of Wrath. You would go like Hallow, Wings, Wrath, Hallow, Wings, start Execution Sentence, and then you would go Wrath, Wake of Ashes, Templar's Verdict. Like fit all those things into the Execution Sentence window, and of course you're going to get big burst damage. So um, I completely understand if people want to run that build, and that is perfectly fine. I think that'll work just fine. Let me look really quickly at the other that extends wings. Oh, I don't have any other boots. Oh, dang. That's okay. Maybe we just don't wear boots. Just take them off. Perfect. I wanted to look at the this one here, Templar's Verdict with Final Verdict. So this is kind of interesting, right? Because it gives you a chance to get your Hammer of Wrath back, right? 15% chance to activate Hammer of Wrath and reset its cooldown. Obviously, if you're in the Ashen Hallow window, this doesn't matter because you're getting that for free anyway. So I think this is more of a Necrolord playstyle, and I'm gonna say that because Necrolord focuses more on Templar's Verdict anyway. Let me go to town and show you what I'm talking about. So I think those are all the Venthyr playstyles that I want to talk about for Ret. Ret Paladin, I think running into a raid, if you want to take Ashen Hallow, you can. In Mythic Plus, you're still going to stick to Kyrian because it's just disgusting the amount of damage that all those judgments give you. Um, it's just nothing can really beat that, you know? It's just the way it is. Over here. Let me show you the Necrolord stuff though really quick. I want to just talk about this, and we're actually queued for a raid right now, but we are not able to get in. There's just nobody on the servers right now. I'm queued as a tank for the raid. Been doing this entire video, and we've been queued the whole time, and it still doesn't matter. So let me show you the Necrolord playstyle, and then I'm going to end the video there. But I want to just draw attention to some of the cool builds that you can go for as Necrolord, because I think Kyrian is sort of the obvious choice. If you're looking at Mythic Plus, most people aren't going to be looking at Necrolord, but I just want to show you the benefit that you get from the legendary effect of the Necrolord Vanquisher's Hammer buff. I think it's like the strongest of all. Like it's really, really good. If you don't have 2 charges of Vanquisher's Hammer, it just kind of feels bad. But oh, I shouldn't have gone there. Once you do get 2 charges of Vanquisher's Hammer, it feels amazing. It might be as strong as the benefit of getting 50% longer Ashen Hallow, but this is the thing about the Kyrian one. The Kyrian legendary effect is maybe the weakest of the 3, because it just sends out an extra judgment, 1 extra judgment every 5 seconds, which is fine. That's a good button for Ret, of course, and it's a good button for all 3 of the specs. But Ashen Hallow lasting 50% longer, the Vanquisher's Hammer giving you an extra charge and doubling the number of abilities that it will consume for you, like those bonuses are much stronger than just getting 1 judgment every 5 seconds afterwards. So I think that the other covenants are going to catch up to Kyrian a little bit here because the Kyrian bonus just isn't quite as exciting as the other 2 legendary bonuses, right? So let me look at this really quick. I know we're not wearing boots. It's pretty funny, but don't worry about it. Replaces Templar's Verdict with Final Verdict, which is a little bit. It's a slightly ranged ability, right? It does way more damage than than Templar's Verdict does. And then, of course, we are combining it with the Necrolord playstyle, which focuses on pressing Templar's Verdict, because you free Divine Storm Verdict after using Vanquisher's Hammer. So, like, we can really index hard into Final Verdict, and then we're also Wraths. That's the kind of extra bonus that you're getting. So, you're going to Flushcraft. I don't even have any Soulbind set up, right? Do I? I have nothing set up here. That's tragic, but whatever. You'll just see. I just want to show you the playstyle. So again, we still have the tier set bonus. We're trying to get the resets from Art of War. You're going to go Vanquisher's Hammer into Wings, Final Verdict, and then we do Templar's Verdict. We got to reset. Did it not give us the bonus? Oh, there's one. Wait, it just consumed it twice. You guys see that? There's a Wake of Ashes proc. Let me just look at this again. I hope it's not consuming it twice. I just want to see for a second. Okay, we're going to get our Vanquisher's Hammer back. We're getting procs, which is good. Then we got a tier set proc. Okay, Vanquisher's Hammer into a Templar's Verdict. It's consuming it twice. Whoa, what's happening there? Am I missing something? What's happening here? It consumed both of my buffs at the same time. So this is supposed to only, when you throw out your Templar's Verdict, it'll trigger one Divine Storm, but you get 2 buffs from Vanquisher's Hammer. But it appears to be just consuming both buffs at the same time. Let's just reset this and see how many times Divine Storm actually hits an enemy here. It's kind of strange. Let's just try this one more time here. We go here, plus this, here, and then we're going to go. Yeah, it's consuming both. What the heck is happening? Okay, Divine Storm was cast twice. It hit 8 times. It hit 4 targets twice. Final Verdict was cast only once, but it triggered my Divine Storm twice. Huh. I'm not sure. That's definitely bugged. That's definitely a bug there. So we've discovered a bug. I'll report that to Blizzard. But here's the final piece I'm going to say about the Ret Paladin stuff here is that this is kind of cool because you're going to get the Hammer of Wrath procs, which we didn't get any there. So maybe that's also bugged. At least I didn't see it light up. I'll check it one more time. But you're indexing really hard when you're Necrolord. You're indexing very, very hard into Templar's Verdict, even when you're doing AoE, because this is going to trigger your AoE for free. So this seems like an obvious secondary choice of legendaries that you could take, because it's just going to buff your single target damage. It's going to buff that Templar's Verdict, turn it into Final Verdict. It's going to do more damage, give you a chance to activate Hammer of Wrath, which is all cool. You want to be pressing Templar's Verdict all the time, because you're going to get four Templar's Verdicts are going to trigger 4 Divine Storms for free in an AoE pack. And then obviously the rest of the time you're just going to be using your regular Divine Storm, but it's an interesting idea. Obviously, as everybody knows, you can take Tempest of the Lightbringer. That's what a lot of people take, and it's just going to give you, whenever you cast Templar's Verdict, you're going to send out a free Divine Storm, which is awesome. You could obviously, once again, go Vanguard's Momentum, but probably only if you're going Venthyr, right? And is also, there's an interesting idea, guys. Obviously, it seems pretty bugged to me. We're just going to make sure of that. So we'll go Wings. Okay. Here's our first hammer. Okay, it's just oh, and it's Oris, and then we're gonna trigger. There we go. Yeah, it's triggering everything at the same time, which is funny. But then you just do your normal rotation. Let me see if we can get a Templar's or a Hammer of Wrath to trigger here. I think that is also bugged. That's what I'm getting from this. Seems to just be really. Oh, we got to keep getting our proc from our tier set, which is cool. Here's Vanquisher's Hammer. We're gonna do Judgment, and then boom, we get a trigger. It's consuming both, which is not okay. Oh, there we go. We got a trigger right there on Hammer of Wrath. Did you guys see that? From our Templar's Verdict. Oh, got another Wake of Ashes. So there's all these procs going on now, which is kind of cool. If you're running Final Verdict, you'll get this proc on Hammer of Wrath. We just got another one right there. So that's kind of the build. I think it would be very strong in single target because you're getting the chance to trigger your Hammer of Wrath, and you're just getting extra free damage with the Divine Storm. But that's it, guys. This is all the legendaries that I wanted to kind of look at. There's some other ones here. That's obviously my Duty Bound Gavel, which I already have. There's Tempest of the Lightbringer. I mean, anybody who's going to be running this for Kyrian in Mythic Plus, you're already going to be running that anyway. So That's fine. I think for Venthyr, you have the Hammer of Wrath legendaries. You're looking at 2 Hammer of Wrath legendaries for Venthyr. If you're going into a raid environment, that's very likely what you want to pick up. If you're staying with Mythic Plus, you probably just want to stay Kyrian. You'll get the Kyrian extra judgments coming from that legendary, which is very cool. From here, from Divine Resonance. Excuse me. If you do stay Kyrian, you can run like whatever other legendary you want to run. It doesn't really matter, because it's just giving you those free judgments. I think if you're running um, Ret Paladin, then something like Final Verdict with the Necrolord playstyle makes sense to me because you want to be pressing Templar's Verdict anyway. But if you're staying Kyrian in a Mythic Plus, you could just do Divine Storm. You're going to be doing that anyway, right? 5 judgments go out, and you just press Divine Storm, and that's just what you're going to be doing anyway. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's it for the Paladin stuff. I think moving into 9.2, there's just tons and tons and tons of damage. I think we're going to see a lot of people flipping into Venthyr because Ashen Hallow is so crazy. Unfortunately, Night Fae just still doesn't really have a huge place. I've seen some Holy Paladins running Night Fae and getting the huge Blessing of Summer buffs, but it's not really the greatest thing. I think lots of people are going to flip to Venthyr. We're going to see the Ashen Hallow people coming out. If you're in Mythic Plus, if that's your primary focus, you're just going to stay Kyrian for the most part. And the tier set bonuses for Ret Paladin, I think, are great. The tier set bonus for Prot Paladin gives you all this block chance and then a chance to send out more judgments all over the place, which you can consume with your Shield of the Righteous to get lots of damage. And on top of that, you would just run Bulwark again to get even more damage. I think Prot Paladin's going to slap in Mythic Plus for sure. So there you go, guys. There is the rundown of Paladin moving into 9.2 with the double legendaries and the tier set bonuses. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.